If you're going to climb multi-pitch climbs, you should also know how to rappel. Today we are talking through how to build confidence if you or someone you know is maybe feeling uncomfortable about, well, backing over a cliff. Hi again, I'm Jason. Multi-pitch climbing was one of my kids' goals, but multi-pitch climbing also takes you further away from safety than single-pitch climbing. So before I took my kids out on those multi-pitch climbs, I wanted them to have some skills that are fundamental for being self-sufficient on a taller route. In a previous video, I went over 5 knots that I wanted to make sure our kids knew before heading out on their first multi-pitch. 3 of those were directly related to setting up a rappel system. It mattered to me that the kids knew how to rappel because if something like weather turned us around, I wanted them to feel like they can play a role and be empowered in deciding their own fate. That goes a long way to reducing fear. So let's talk about how I choose to ease new climbers into rappelling so that it doesn't become a fearful or downright crippling skill to have to deploy. I begin with breaking down the systems into component parts and cover the steps we take to make sure that each system is set up correctly. If you know how a system works, it's a lot easier to trust it. So I'll discuss and have my new climbers work on all of the following aspects with me, getting hands-on experience. First, there is the anchor. I don't need to go into too much detail talking about what makes a good anchor. They don't need to have to memorize serene or anything yet, but they do need to understand that there is a method to evaluating the strength, equalization, redundancy, efficiency, and lack of extension. Second is the rope. Here we want to maximize our available rappel length by finding the middle, make sure that the system is closed, and attempt to keep the rope from catching on any terrain or hitting people below us. We talk about threading the anchor while also maintaining control of the rope through a clove hitch. Let's assume we're rappelling off of a single rope, which I think is more typical for new climbers. You can watch a recent video we did about rappelling with tag lines or double ropes if you want to learn more about those systems. The third part of our macro system is our device and the equipment around it. I walk them through my preferences and logic for setting that system up. I like an extended rappel because it allows us to hold ourselves more upright if we have a heavy pack. It allows us to keep the device away from clothing or other items that can snag, and it allows us to use either hand on our backup hitch. And maybe most importantly, it allows us to have all of our systems on the rope at the same time so we can check each other before anyone moves down. You can watch the full video on setting up a rappel extension as well. We talk about getting our auto block attached first. It will be our rappel backup, but also helps us manage the rope as we thread our belay device. Finishing the system, now it's time to back over that cliff. Okay, so backing over a cliff can be scary and seems to always feel a bit unnatural. So now that my new climbers understand the systems, what are the next incremental steps towards overcoming that fear? Well, first, I think it's important to practice setting up that system in a safe place. Standing on the ground with a rope draped through a carabiner or over a stout tree branch or the like can orient a new climber without the dread of a cliff. I have them do it once with me talking them through it, then I have them do it once with them explaining it to me. Now I want to add in the next element of trust. Right now, the climber trusts me and knows I trust the system, but it is another thing to experience it and trust the system yourself. So we do a tiny rappel. Again, a home gym or a thick tree along with a step ladder can do the job. Once up on the ladder, they talk me through attaching the rappel device and show it to me. Now I ask them to cinch up that auto block, place their hand on the rope, and step off the ladder. I move the ladder out of the way. Finish the rappel, son. Our climber understands the system, can build the system, and has experienced a taste of the system. So this becomes the dress rehearsal. No problems, we're ready to take it outside. For the first outside rappel, I am always going to be right there, having the climber talk me through what they are doing and allowing me to watch and check everything, even while they double check those things themselves. The more I can make this feel like the home practice, the more I can reduce that natural fear that may come with it. I've isolated things down to that one remaining variable of the cliff. All through the process, and especially now that a real rappel is going to happen, I remind the climber of the last part of the system, us. How do we use our bodies safely and smartly? First, keep our feet wide for stability.
Widen those feet a little if you can.
We keep our feet up and our butt down, allowing our feet to push against the face without slipping, like they would do if our feet get too far below us. This is especially true when going over gaps or overhangs. Our butts need to go first, and our feet need to go last, or we will bang into the wall. And we don't speed down super fast like we see in the military. Their biggest risk may be someone shooting at them while they are exposed on the rope. Unnecessary rockfall and unnecessary bounces on the anchor above us is not cool. For kids, I found it was nice to bring a second rope along and rappel down next to them. This let them feel that they had a watchful eye at each meter of progress. It also, frankly, allowed me peace of mind to see them managing their systems and their body mechanics conscientiously. So there's the whys behind and steps I take to ease a new climber into rappelling. Do you remember your first rappel? Was it scary or exhilarating? Tell us about it in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want to support us. For more information, you can go to our website at www.shortguysbetaworks.com. You may want to check out that video I mentioned about using taglines or double ropes, or you may also want to check out our entire rock climbing safety series. We'll see you next week and keep on getting more out of that big outside.